So hey guys, welcome to another video, and this has been requested maybe more than you think. Okay, Resto Druids and Trinkets. People are confused. People don't know which trinkets to use. Alright, and people keep constantly asking me which trinkets I'm using and what do I think about the trinkets. Should I use spirit trinkets or not? Should I use this trinket? Should I use that trinket? So I decided to make a quick video about it. Now, I prefer Dream of Scenarios. Alright, Dream of Scenarios is kind of required in Mythic raiding because you can't sustain decent enough healing with either Heart of the Wild or Nature's Vigil. You need some healing. Alright, and if you're not running Dream of Scenarios, yes, you can still Wrath, but when you're looking pretty and you're regenerating mana, you're causing the other healers to pick up your scrap and run out of mana much faster. So I just run with Dream of Scenarios, and even though I'm trying to save mana, I'm banking mana by using Wrath, I'm still doing a decent amount of healing. Like, just Wrath spamming with Dream of Scenarios does actually quite a bit of HPS. Okay, and I think it complements what you are doing as a Resto Druid, which is just throwing HOTS around. Alright, and I just love the Dream of Scenarios playstyle. Sometimes I will go with Nature's Vigil or Heart of the Wild, but most of the time I will just go with Dream of Scenarios. Also, learn to abuse Dream of Scenarios. For instance, on Black Hand, when you go to the second phase and you remove the plating from the tanks or the demolishers, they take increased damage. So what you can do is you can essentially do what Discipline Priests were doing on Horidon, where the more gates you smash with Horidon, the more damage he takes, and in turn, the Discipline Priests can do more healing with Atonement. So if you remove the plating from the Demolisher, one Wrath for me heals for about 50k after the plating has been removed from the Demolisher. So I just love the little things you can do with Dream of Scenarios, which you are not quite able to do with Nature's Vigil or Heart of the Wild. Okay, Heart of the Wild is still good on fights like Butcher, where you just need every bit of DPS. It's still good there, but I just like Dream of Scenarios. With that in mind, I currently have 4 Trinkets on me. Those 2 are probably going to be disenchanted. I will probably keep this one, but this one is from Highmall. It was much easier to pick up Trinkets in Highmall because they were either like this, where they have just flat stats, or they had an on-use, haste on-use. So it was pretty simple for you to pick up Trinkets there. But we get into Blackrock Foundry and you see stuff like this, which is a primary stat with Spirit proc. Then we have Spirit with secondary stat procs and all that good stuff. And people are confused. People don't know what to pick. What's the best? Now, as a healer, it doesn't really matter what's the best. Okay? What matters is what keeps people alive. As a healer, you can't play just to do the most healing. No, you have to play to keep people alive. If you're doing the most healing but people are still dying, then you are useless. Okay, you have to use something that does decent healing but also keeps people alive when it's necessary. Alright. So I'm currently rocking with those 2, and I don't think I'll be swapping them out because I really prefer this combo. I really like it. And yeah, just the other trinkets, I don't think they're as good. Okay, this is not from sim-crafted results. I'm just talking from my personal experience of raiding Blackrock Foundry on normal, on heroic, and now mythic. This is what I just prefer. So I have the auto-repairing autocleave. This is from Black Hand. It's a Spirit Trinket, which is fantastic, and it has a stacking haste proc, which is awesome. Lasts for 10 seconds, and it has approximately 0.92 procs per minute. This is fairly important, because the second trinket is the Elementalist's Shielding Talisman, which once again is a Spirit Trinket, but it has a huge multi-strike proc that also lasts 10 seconds and procs approximately every 0.92, approximately. It procs approximately 0.92 times per minute. So both of those have a 10-minute duration. They have the same internal cooldown, or similar PPM. So they line up fairly well. Now, both of them being spirit trinkets means that you get a very smooth mana regeneration curve, whereas with a trinket like this, you don't. Okay, if it procs or not, it's kind of random and it's not really that great. You really want to have a smooth mana regenerating system as opposed to having big procs, because that's what you have potions for, right? So maybe if you're in a fight where some phases are really mild on damage, but some of them are just insane, where you're just blowing through your mana like nobody's business. Maybe you want to pick a trinket like this, but I would still prefer to have a straight up spirit trinket with another proc, because it's just gonna be a nice smooth curve of your mana. That's just what I prefer and what I tend to like the most when healing mythic raids. So these two are amazing. All right, the haste from this one is insane. You just get so much haste. And the multi-strike from this one puts me up to about 43% multi-strike. When they proc together, you're going to see some mad healing. All right, I haven't attacked anything in quite some time. So if I just attack this training dummy, they should both proc. Now what I will do is I will just keep spamming Wrath until the procs have fallen off. And you will kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first Wrath should proc them both. There we go, here they are. And I'll just start spamming Wrath. If you're good enough, you can pop something like Berserking with it, so you get even more out of that. And you're just spamming. That's the last Wrath, and I'll just stop. Alright? And these numbers, by the way, are very consistent. I've done this many times, and every time it comes off very close. It depends on how many crits you get, which means, you know, it kind of depends on the damage. But even if you're not getting crits, and then you do get a lot of crits, you still do a decent amount, and it's pretty similar. So, in this 10-second window of me just spamming Wrath, I did 13.8k DPS, which is, you know, it's not bad. I'm a healer at the end of the day. But I did do 289, almost 300k healing. Now, that was just a proc, and it was just spamming Wrath. Okay, there was 10 seconds of spamming Wrath with those two trinkets proc, and did 300k healing. That is good. That is really good. Why? It might not seem like a lot, but you have to realize that you have a life bloom up. You have a couple of rejuice probably. You might even have a wild growth going on. You have a mushroom down. When those two proc, and they usually align together fairly well, you're going to see an explosion of healing. Okay, now it's not very controlled, but you can sort of guess when they're going to proc. Okay, they will proc sort of every minute-ish. They will usually align together. So, while you have all of this down, when you see that proc, there we go, there's one of the procs. When I see this proc, one of them going off, and there is damage coming in, I immediately wild growth, and I drop everything else, and if I'm not supposed to pop a cooldown, I will start rat spamming. And it will do a lot of healing. Okay, you have to also bear in mind that in a raid, I am fully buffed. I have more haste, I have more crit, I have more spell power, I have flask, and all of this. At the beginning of a fight, I'm popping an intellect potion. So all of this, you know, together works really well for me. And I wouldn't exchange those two trinkets for anything else. I really, really like this combo. Some people prefer to have this, the auto-repairing auto-cleave, and also the DPS variation, which I think it's an intellect trinket, but it has a stacking multi-strike proc. I just prefer this big explosion of multi-strike with additional spirit, because it creates a nice and smooth mana regeneration. Just, you know, I like it. It's as simple as that. I just like it. I would recommend it. If you're not sure which trinkets to pick, I just really like those two. They just work together very well. And they're going to boost your healing by a ton. Okay, and you don't need huge amounts of spirit, because, once again, you are using Dream of Scenarios, and if you're coordinating healing cooldowns properly, and you're not just bitch healing everyone, single targeting them with your expensive spells, you shouldn't really have that much of an issue with mana, which means those two trinkets are perfectly fine when combined with the legendary ring, or the pre-legendary ring, which also has spirit. You're just gonna do a lot of healing. Okay, you should have enough mana. It's just nice and smooth, and it is very relaxed. Okay, you're not hoping for that spirit proc because your mana is getting kind of low. You don't have to do that. Your mana is going to regenerate at the same speed at all times, and I just really like that. So there you go. Those are the two trinkets I really prefer. The auto-repairing auto-cleave and the Elementalist Shielding Talisman. It doesn't matter if you get them on LFR, or you can't get them on LFR. If you get them on normal mode, on heroic or mythic, they're fantastic in my opinion, and I would really recommend them to any resto droid who likes the Dream of Scenarios playstyle. And that's it from me. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video helped you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.